Welcome everyone to episode 298. Holy crap. Of the Constantly Calibrating Podcast. As always, I am your host, Josh Silverman, joined, not currently joined by my co-host, Justin Stanley. I have this written out already. Justin, I think is coming. I hope.
Maybe.
Justin, where are you? I miss you.
Oh, hey!
Oh, there he is.
That
could have not been better planned.
I did not get the memo we started at 8, even though I responded to that tweet. And retweeted it.
And was in the call for a second.
And texted you.
Oh, what do you have?
Could not have been timed better. I'm so happy. If you say Justin's name 3 times, he appears anywhere in the world. That would be a cool power, actually, Will. I would love to be able to summon Justin anywhere, because then I could actually film my couch co-op stuff.
Yeah, but then you'll be like pissed at me one day, cursing my name while you're on the toilet, and that's just be awkward.
Thing is, you'll be at a convention and he'll just show up. He'll just turn around and he'll be there, and it's just
that's PAX East. That was PAX East this year. I kept talking about Justin, and just suddenly he decided to fly out at the last minute. So yeah, intro's already been done. So Justin, if you could do me a favor and start Audacity, this is part of the show, people.
All that.
So yeah, joined by my co-host Justin Stanley. See, we're working with it.
Justin.
It's Constantly Calibrating, everyone. We keep it going. On this,
I haven't started prepping yet, just to let you know. So this is gonna get better.
Justin, this lovely little Pluto mug for everyone watching is filled. Was filled to the top with bourbon with a little bit of apple juice. It is now half full. I gotta watch kids after this. It'll be fun.
You're gonna have a great time.
It's gonna be a good time. On this week's show, we're flying by the seat of our and several other people's pants. Joining us, we have journalist, writer, and advocate, Aiden Strawhun. Aiden, finally got you on a show. I'm so excited. I'm actually very excited about this because you messaged me, and I'm like, holy shit, Aiden wants to come on the show? Sure, let's do it. Then we got, wow, I am off my game already. Host of the new Entertainment System podcast, Nathan Brandt.
Hi, that's me!
Yay!
No.
And host of SDGC, Matthew Finneman. Did I say your last name right?
it's me.
There's an energy in this show, and it's somewhere between
filler.
It's somewhere between like blinding excitement and oh my god, how's it only Tuesday?
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Which I feel is personified right now between all of our mutual friend John's mentions, as the colloquial feeling of the day almost.
Rip.
For those who don't know, John wrote a absolutely fucking wonderful article for IGN. And gamers are offended? I don't know.
Gamers are rising up?
Gamers are being gamers.
Gamers are rising up.
And, Josh, is that it's just a game. Come on.
It is just a game.
His only game. Why you have to be mad?
Yeah, it's just a video game. And, remember, with gaming, you want to make sure that nothing is censored except for the things that I don't like.
Right. Pride flags, censor it. White phosphorus, keep it in there. Good. Gamers are very good and should stick around.
Proud should we be of John? 6 months ago would have been quote tweeting every single person in the comments section.
I'm so proud of him.
Little boy is growing all up. Game dad has evolved.
He's actually reading. He still reads the comments, which are fine. I read all comments, but he's actually reading them and being like, this guy's a jackass, and he just moves on with it. Yeah, he clicks the block button and moves on with his life. It's wonderful. I've actually taken a page out of his book, and I've started blocking people who comment on his stuff, too. It works out great.
See, I don't even have to do that anymore, because auto-blockers!
I need one of those.
I need to... I'm almost at the point that I need to explore that. There's been people who keep DMing me clown pictures, because I responded favorably to something about, people who do bad things shouldn't, exist. Will J. Powers is in the chat is adding, wait, what the fuck are auto blockers?
So there are actually lists that you can subscribe to on Twitter. And sometimes they can be a little bit problematic. in the sense that like they can block people that don't necessarily need to be blocked on accident, things like that. The ones I'm subscribed to are Gamergate Autoblocker and also Turf Autoblocker. And they have served me very well. I have about 57,000 accounts blocked.
Nice.
Lovely.
Apparently Kyle Gatto, by the way, just tweeted at me to drink some water, bitch. And I am Kyle. Thank you very much. It's in my Last Jedi glass.
I have an extensive mute list, but I need to do a nice big block list.
See, I don't do soft blocks anymore. I hard block them all.
I mean, who has the time to block all 57,000 pieces of shit on the internet?
That's why auto blockers.
So I didn't used to block people for the longest time because the way my brain has always worked, and it's the benefit that I've up until recently didn't start really receiving a lot of really truly toxic stuff. I liked to always see the worst of humanity in a weird sort of way. I liked seeing this.
Curiosity.
I liked to read. It was like this morbid curiosity. I'm the read comments guy. I read everything, and I've always been interested in that. But then, in the last 6 months of becoming friends with a lot of people who speak openly about stuff and are not pieces of shit, I'm seeing stuff down the internet that I'm like, wow, I really just don't want to see this out there. It's a thing.
I've had certain brushes with like online harassment bullshit, and like that's what started me being like, you know what, I'm just gonna block people immediately, not gonna give anybody the chance to even be shitty at me or consider being shitty at me.
I feel that
being weird.
I feel that, and we got Jitsu of 202, which I believe is Manny. OMG, look at these amazing people. You're amazing, Manny. It is Manny, yay. So let's talk for people who are not familiar with we have a couple new guests here, and then we have a returning guest, Nathan.
And also, don't mind me, I'm just eating this pizza.
Yeah, apparently I told Justin the wrong time.
Pizza?
Here's the thing. For those who don't realize, we started the show 30 minutes early this week. So last week, we started the show 30 minutes late. And I would love to say that was some planned thing, but it's more just we wanted to make sure. Aiden has plans later, and I wanted to make sure I could get Aiden on the show.
It's my fault. I'm sorry.
No, it's actually okay.
It's here.
It legitimately works out really well because the show.
Appreciate me too.
Oh.
It works out because I only bumped the show back originally to 5:30 because we used to take my oldest out for ice cream after swim class, and now we don't do that anymore. So it actually works out fine.
I'm love.
Yeah, and as Finn's saying, you could say that out loud too. you can.
Yeah, but then I'd be talking over people, and I am nothing if not considerate.
Okay, here. How dare you be considerate on this show?
On this show?
I could raise my hand like I do on SDGC when everyone makes fun of me like I'm in grade school again, but
I'm going to say Josh is not considerate because he didn't introduce Saki.
That is right. I did not actually introduce Saki, who's residing lovely on Finn's shoulder. I mean, we're talking about Saki the sock, not... so, yeah.
Oh my god, is Saki the puppy? Oh, Saki
the puppet.
That was
Manny knows. Cat's got his own Saki now.
I'm so sorry.
So my favorite thing, that we got Belinda in chat saying my Saki is on my desk here at home.
Oh, who's BBC Games?
It's Belinda.
Belinda Garcia.
Oh my god. She has her own Saki now too. PAX West was just a Saki-given marathon to wonderful people. Here, she says hi.
Hi. So we're so far past. I was going to do proper intros, but I gotta ask, what do I gotta do to get a Saki? What do I get? How many times do I have to be part of content?
Oh no, the mic.
The mic cut out right as he said, you know what?
We're on some Lale Lule Lo shit with Saki right now.
Oh, like
98% sure you got one last year at PAX East when we first met.
I wasn't at PAX East last year, but I was at PAX East earlier this year. And I was handed Saki for meeting Saki at there was like some mixery event for indie games or something like that on day 0, I want to say, when I met you in person and Derek and everyone. But I'm really just giving you shit.
Quick question.
Sure.
Blue or gray? Hit me right now. Go.
Gray.
Whoa!
Hey, son of Saki, waiting for you
Son of Saki.
until the next time we may meet.
I will get you one day, my child.
Send me your address and I mail it to you like I did Rebs. That's fine.
That works. That works. Yeah, I just remembered that Belinda in a chat asking a bunch of people for their addresses and watching like 3 or 4 different people drop their addresses right in this public group of like 12 different people, and I just sat there and I'm just like, that's a choice. I know there's a lot of trustworthy people in this group, but that's a conscious choice.
It's a safe group, man.
Yeah, no, it is.
No, it is not, because Joey Noelle was going to send everybody hula hoops with blades on them or something.
Probably.
No. She was straight up looking up hula hoops with swords attached.
Oh my god, that sounds so metal.
Well, what we end up discovering is Amazon sells a hula hoop, a standard hula hoop for about $65 or somewhere thereabouts, and another $120 something one that's like an EDM kind of styled one. I think, Nathan, right?
Yeah, it had like lights in it and shit. It was cool.
Yeah, it was actually pretty cool. I don't know, $120 cool, but so
I spent more money on dumber lights in this room.
I'm still working on upgrading my light for here, but kind of discovered that if I don't have a job in like 2 weeks, we're gonna probably have to take out a loan. So yeah, I'm not buying
I know
dumb
that
stuff.
life.
Yeah, and I've been fortunate to go 34 years without experiencing that, but a zero income family for 4 months is woof. Is
Yeah, no,
taxing.
You'll find
there's-
a way, my love.
No shame in it.
Oh no,
You got to do it.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. But let's go into happier things. We're like almost 20 minutes in, and I haven't done like proper intro for the new people to the show. So, Finn, who are you, and what the hell are you doing here?
I'm here because you were like, you know what, our show needs someone on the low bar so we can balance out my greatness,
Shut
and
up.
I jumped in to fill in that role. I'm Matthew. People call me Finn because I'm on the SDGC show, and we already had a Matthew, so I'm Finn now. I created our
wondered
mascot
about that.
Saki with the real Saki. Also, my name is Nola Nerdcast because it all started. I'm from New Orleans and I had my own show there, so that name kind of stuck with me. So if you ever see me on the interwebs, I like to talk about cool stuff and surround myself with good people.
Makes sense.
Twitter is a cesspool, and why not? I got going.
You know what? Like at least one word cut out of there, but I think I got it just.
My mic's been giving me a lot of trouble. I need to order a new one, so that'll happen randomly.
I mean,
Hooray.
it's totally
That's
how
what
it
chat's
is.
for.
If you want, I can.
Hashtag Saki
I can
Bless.
send you over. I found the original Constantly Calibrating mic that 50 episodes were recorded. 50 episodes
crap.
with 2 people. 2 people record this. Also, if you look in, it's kind of hard to see on the camera. The wire is actually shredded right here.
Oh my
We
god.
did
For
50
the
episodes.
low cost son of Saki, I could have a piece of constantly calibrating history.
Yeah, I mean potentially.
Who can say no to that deal?
I mean, I need to keep it through next week because we're doing the big 300 episode. Which, if you think I'm not prepared for tonight's show, wait till you see next week. It is
With 300
impressively.
guests.
But no, it's good times. Aiden,
Hi.
who are you, and why are you here?
Legitimate thinking.
Wow.
Bold question, I realize, but
Yeah, shit.
The
I
real
wasn't prepared
terror.
for that.
let's go with who are you?
Who am I?
we don't have to go
I write
deep
about
in.
games and
Yeah.
anime for a living. That's a thing.
Good stuff.
And I scream about grad school and feminism and other things on Twitter all the time.
Yeah.
That's who I am. Oh, and also I'm the personification of pink.
Hell yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think some very good stuff in there. So yeah, I know Aiden because you were on a lot of kind of funny related stuff, and
Yes, I was.
and
Actually, I
then
think I was like their first like really big guest host too.
yes, you were the
Really
first
big.
one, and I didn't know you at the time, and people were like really excited, like holy crap, Aiden's on the show, and I was like, I don't know this person, I'm gonna like look into what they do, And then somehow I've got Belinda in chat saying Aiden is the cutest fucking human alive. So yes, that is a fact. And then
I'm also kind of tipsy.
a little tipsy here as well. Yeah, so it's
Exactly how I found out about her as well was the big kind of funny announcement. So then I've just been joy and happiness since then.
You want to know something crazy though? Is Aiden is sort of the reason why I have like a podcast now, and why I've been on kind of funny stuff, because I heard the story. Were you the one that like approached Greg like tipsy at a convention?
I
Or
wasn't
something
tipsy.
like that? Okay, well, he was. Somebody was tipsy in
He
this
might have been.
equation.
Okay, so what happened was
apparently that was
RTX.
Belinda.
We were in RTX. It might have been Belinda.
Okay.
Shut up. Anyway, we were in RTX, and I was waiting for a friend of mine in a hotel lobby to come down for lunch. And there were a couple of people in the lobby, and Nick was there, and he was waiting for Greg. And then they had asked Nick, like, "Hey, can we get a picture?" He's like, "Hey, wait, let's wait until Greg is here." And then they're taking the picture, and they're trying to take like the awkward selfie. I'm like, "Hey, why don't I take that picture for you?" And they're like, "Sure, that'd be great." I was like, "Okay, I'll do it as long as I get to introduce myself."
Yeah. Did you tell that story
Mazel tov.
on the show?
I don't think I got a chance to.
Oh, okay. Then maybe it was
he
Belinda.
kind of told it himself.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because I listened to the audio product, so I didn't know people's names. So it's actually Belinda who is the reason, because I got the idea to approach Greg drunk in a bar, and
Yeah.
You made
Aiden,
my heart so warm, and then you just like iced it over.
listen.
But also, Belinda, I love you.
Yes, if it's for Belinda, it's okay.
I mean, let's just go with the heartwarming thing. I mean, my thing is like Aiden and I talked online here and there for a while, and then PAX East, I had a complete meltdown. I didn't know I was having a meltdown on the show floor, but apparently I was having a meltdown on the show floor, and I was tweeting about it, and Aiden just like came in and it just became my con mom for like that event.
Everyone's called mom.
I know, but like you
It's
weren't
on brand.
but you weren't even at the event. Like, I have Hunter Bond of Berserk Games literally on site. Every time I walk by, he's literally he randomly gives me a hug, drops some cough drops in my chest pocket, and says, "You're a good boy. I believe in you," and then pushes me off of my way.
Band-Aids.
But Aiden's not even at the event, and you start just tweeting at me like it's gonna be okay, yada yada yada, like it's these nice affirming things, and I'm like, oh, I think I'm having I think I'm freaking out right now for some reason, and it warmed my heart, and then we've been friends, pretty much like real friends ever since. Versus
And
just
then your
like,
youngest has the same birthday as me.
and
so.
then my little boy Sora has the same birthday as you.
Oh,
Oh,
Which
Speaking of Sora's birthday,
I was gonna say, is it today the 17th anniversary of Kingdom Hearts?
Yes.
Which blew my
Universal
mind.
energy, man. Summoning.
It's just a universal
Justin,
energy of summoning.
Not
and inning.
Jason.
nobody knows who anybody is right now.
that's the name I most get confused. Like people confuse me with, which is fine. That's my brother's name. I lived with it.
Wait, which name?
The resignation in your voice.
Jason. No, my mother had. I'm a family of like a brother and two sisters. My mother gave us all J names, so my mother always goes down and lets Justin, Jason, whatever your name is, come over here. I'm like,
My parents
Number
always
2.
do like Skylar Aiden or Aiden Skylar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I was called Jason so much my freshman year of high school that it literally turned into my name for all of freshman year of high school, and my Spanish teacher by the end of the year legitimately thought my name was Jason Silverman.
Oh
She thought my
God,
name
I'm
was
so
Jason
sorry.
Josh Silverman, and when I corrected her, she just looked at me and she called me a lying sack of shit. And she immediately became one of my favorite teachers. The funniest thing is I moved to Arizona for my sophomore year, and the first day of school, my math teacher called me Jason by accident, and that became my name for all of my next 3 years finishing up high school as well. Because I was also sadly that kid who, when I got bothered by something, instead of just like laughing off, I was like, no, that's not my, no. Kind of thing.
Oh,
Even
no.
as a fucking like 15, 16-year-old. So it's like, you dumb fuck.
it's gotten to the point where I don't even respond to Matthew sometimes because I grew up with 7 of them in the same grade. And so I've been called my last name for so long that people go Matthew, and I have to double check that they actually are looking at me.
Oh, I think Justin and I can attest for if I hear a just sound in a crowd, I just assume it's me and I turn around because it's just better safe than sorry.
Whenever I hear my name in public, it's actually for a little boy who's like maybe 3 or 4 years old.
Well, fair enough.
Which is fine. I mean, Aiden is a unisex name.
It is.
I used to babysit a little boy.
I'm sorry, you totally cut out. I didn't hear
The
what you said.
microphone, no.
I used to babysit a little Aiden.
I'm a big Aiden.
I actually think I think my physics teacher's kid actually, his youngest was named Aiden as well, actually. But I think about
It's
it.
a very good name.
It's a good name. Actually, it was on Charnel and my list of names that we came up with for kids on our 5th date. It was on the original list for unisex.
That's fast.
Yeah.
We started.
Sometimes you know, though.
I told her I loved her purely by accident, mind you. I told her I loved her 4 weeks in, but I was also sleeping in her room, like at her parents' house, by 3 weeks in. So moved a little fast.
I mean, to be fair, I don't really have a lot of room to speak with fast because Joe told me he was in love with me before we were even dating.
Fair enough. I mean, sometimes when the heart knows, and sometimes it knows before you do. Again, like that was my experience. But yeah,
Sometimes overlaps happen like that.
I think it's good. I think it's a good way to honestly go. Just I'm kind of always been a how do I put this? Just trust in my feelings kind of person. So,
I feel that.
So yeah.
If you named your kid after a Kingdom Hearts character, you're probably pretty in touch with your feelings.
Yeah.
Are we sure about that one? Because right now my plan we're not going to have a 3rd kid, but like I have no issues with my kids' names being heard because it's been heard enough times. But I have a Roran, I have a Sora, so we have 2 kids with the middle letters Aura. I am so determined I need to have like a 3rd kid named Aurora or like something like that.
Let's do it.
Purely because, as it is, I fuck up the kids' names all the damn time. May as well just hit peak insanity. Not that we're having a 3rd kid, but hey, we weren't having a 2nd kid either. So.
Things
It just happened.
And my first daughter, Stelis, from Final Fantasy VI. So
Nice.
Do it. Why not? I mean, John's gonna be very happy. Oh wow, you got approval from the missus over there. So.
Yeah, I was like, that's why John likes you.
I got Will in chat saying,
person.
Will in chat saying this podcast is getting deep. Honestly, Will, I'm gonna be straight up with the audience. The plan for this episode, the only plan was we were gonna have the guys from shotcall.gg on the show. I met them on the last night of PAX West at Elephant and Castle. And then they had an appointment come up and they were just worried that they were going to be too late. So last minute yesterday, I just put out a tweet that's like, hey, who can come on the show? I don't even think it was a minute later. And Aiden said, I want to come on your show, drink, and talk about video games. We're half an hour into the show. We haven't even hit really video games yet, but like
We kind of did.
Talking about Kingdom Hearts.
We talked
Kinda.
about
I said the words Kingdom Hearts.
We said the words Kingdom Hearts, and we did talk about gamers, quote unquote.
Gamers rising up.
Gamers rising up, yes. But pretty much like the loose plan was Aiden and I DMing and be like, you want to just drink and talk video games and see what else? And then I just said, hey, can I invite other people to this? Are you cool with that? And so the plan for this show is so loose, it's not. It may as well be ConCal pre-100.
I'm going to give you props for updating your profile during this podcast.
Oh, for who's that?
Didn't bounce.
Like I generally saw
his picture
photo.
Yep.
Yeah, look at that.
Will's picture
on you,
appeared,
Will.
and then we got Finn over here updating his name during the show. I mean, last week we had John creating a Mixer account to come in here, and then like 2 weeks prior we had Belinda hopping in here. So it's like we're bringing people to Mixer. Damn it, Josh Stein, notice me.
Are we bringing people to Mixer because of Twitch's like?
Ooh, let's talk about that. Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for? I'm too tipsy for this.
Bullshit. Yeah, I think
Bullshit's
No,
fine.
Twitch's intolerance of thighs.
I want to.
Apocalypse.
Yeah, Will's saying thanks,
Bye,
Aiden, for being
Apocalypse.
covered up.
Yes.
I'm covered
You're
up too.
welcome. You will not get banned. No mature audiences here.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of exposed neck. I don't know.
There is. I gotta. Hey, hold on. I'm gonna move the mic. Here, like, make a squeaky sound.
Oh no!
That's what I meant to.
I've got here. I got this V going on here. Like, best go.
No.
Oh,
deep
Josh,
Vs.
that deep V is getting me.
Just a hint.
You're gonna have to tag this as mature.
I don't know.
That was my
I think it
favorite
is that-
thing about when Ninja came over to Mixer. A bunch of people discovered Mixer's policies about clothing, and everyone's like, Mixer hates women because they have these strict policies on clothing, and it's like, but Twitch is literally, and I know there's more to people saying there's more to the story about this current thing, but still, people are. It's just like Twitch is literally banning people for some thigh showing. Come the fuck up.
Like, I understand like having policies to promote like professionalism and whatnot for sure, but also like it's 2019, like stop telling women what to fucking wear. Like, can we not do that?
Fuck yeah, please.
That would be great.
I mean,
we really hope.
I didn't hear what you said, love.
That our bodies are too highly regulated by the government, but that's an angry Zaki talking.
No, bring it on.
I agree. I concur.
5 more seconds and she'll go straight lawyer mode.
Will is saying in chat,
Let's
honestly,
go there.
Will's saying in chat. That was a great.
Honestly,
I want to read this. Will is saying in chat, honestly, the worst was the IRL streamer that was working out in the gym with a sports bra and baggy shorts that got banned.
Yeah, that was Fariha. I know them.
Seriously?
Like it's just so ridiculous.
I've seen more revealing clothing at Trader Joe's. Like, I'm just saying.
Trader Joe's is not exactly a sacred thing. Let's be real.
Okay, fair. Okay, dial it back. At the supermarket.
You talked about Trader Joe's on the episode of my podcast that you guested on.
Because I got hit by a car right before that like a couple days before. I got my foot run over by a car like the morning of.
Trader Joe's do you go to? Damn.
Oh no!
One in Arizona.
The Trader Joe's in Tempe, I'm not exaggerating, is the single worst parking lot I've ever been to in my life. Roran has almost been run over by a car on 3 different occasions. I have been hit by a car. Clipped by a car once. I've gotten my shoe knocked off once. I have been called a certain slur for a Jewish person by a cashier on at least one case in the parking lot.
Why do you go back?
Because we like Trader Joe's and it's the only one nearby.
Fair.
The actual Trader
like
Joe's,
Trader
it's fine.
Joe's
The
too.
parking lot's the cesspool.
Josh loves to get in these confrontations so he could talk about them a lot. I mean, talk to him about Best Buy. I mean, oh my
You're there
god.
for the cheese mayor.
We have a raised hand.
I
We
get
have
it.
a raised
I love
hand.
the cheese man too. You look like you're really
Where?
excited to talk about TJ's.
Oh my god, sorry. I want to raise a hand, but I just want to read this. Well, actually, the cashier was asking you to go fly a kite. You just had bad hearing. Okay, Fed, go ahead.
In Tempe?
All I heard was Tempe. One more time.
Tempe.
Whoa.
Your mic is only saying
Yeah,
for Tempe.
Tempe.
Okay. Do you live in Tempe?
Yes, I do.
There it is.
I'd find a job at a Tempe agency.
Did you literally wait that long for that joke?
And I always will.
Jen, one of the things I love about you is you tell better dad jokes than any actual dad I've ever met in my life. And like, I want to be angry at you, but you're. But like,
all I know is my favorite thing that ever happened at PAX West was when one of my co-hosts, Jeff, finally met me for the first time, and halfway through the show, after my terrible joke, he looks at me and goes like, "Opt."
May as well have
All I
said
heard was
Tempe.
opt.
Tempe.
yeah. I do need to find a Tempe agency.
Well, yeah.
Wait, Finn's telling us to wait a minute. What's going on?
Wait, Aiden broke.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, because I disconnected this garbage mic, which has never worked for the past 3 weeks, And I'm now just working off the webcam mic, so the quality's less, but maybe you'll actually hear me. I don't know.
I mean, last week when people on the show, their mic kept switching between their snowball and their headset every like 4.5 minutes.
See, that's the mistake. You don't need a snowball. You need a Yeti.
I can almost reach my snowball from here. That was actually mic number 2 for Constantly Calibrating.
Yes, it was. I remember that one.
Well, okay, the reasoning behind that microphone was we were recording a Doctor Who after show in the days before after shows were a thing, and I read a thing that said it has a microphone on the back. So you can sit 4 people around a room, and I was a moron and thought that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, we came a long way. I wasn't there
sounds like
during that time, so I remember the snowball. It was.
That works fine. Charnel streamed off that for a while, so. Which, apparently my wife wants to get back into streaming, so.
But look where we're at now.
Oh, look where we're at now. I've been using AT2020, and I've got this lovely little mix board down here. I was about to grab my webcam and be like, look at this pretty baby. And then I thought, I will never get that centered ever again if I try to. But look, I have a whiteboard now. This makes me so happy.
Impressive.
We turned the closet door into a whiteboard.
That's
Smart.
really impressive, actually. If I had a place where I could do that, I would do that.
Well, I've been bitching to Charnel for the longest time. Like, I wish I had a whiteboard nearby because, like, sticky notes on Windows, I can minimize. Alerts in Google Calendar, I can dismiss. But like, if I just had something on a whiteboard, I could just turn to the right and be like, "Oh fuck, I forgot to." Oh god, oh wow, no, Kino, this is depressing. I actually forgot to launch it.
It's okay. Relaxing is hard work too.
It's an interesting progression, but no. So we were gonna paint the door because apparently there's whiteboard paint. If I don't know if you know,
Well, there's chalk paint, so of course there's whiteboard.
Yep.
no, it makes sense. Like that was literally my response. Charnel and I were like, "Holy shit, there's whiteboard paint!" And then we thought, "No, wait, we've actually done chalkboard paint before, so this makes perfect sense." But turned out that was a lot of work. So we went on Amazon, discovered that there was a whiteboard,
Like a decal or
like
something?
a decal more or less, that was the exact dimensions of one of the panels of my folding closet door. It was maybe
That was clearly meant to be.
yeah, it's like maybe like a quarter of an inch not wide enough, and it's maybe about an inch too long. But that's whatever. That's minor issue.
Perfect. It's perfect. It's
Works
fine.
fine. And then I got my stuff up here, and then I got a spot for the kids to draw on the bottom.
Hey, let's
What
talk
the-
about
I have
this.
accessories too.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my
Love you
God.
too, love you too, Belinda. Thank you for stopping in.
Thank you.
Oh, did she head out?
She said,
Looks like-
heading out, love you all.
Bye, Belinda!
Yeah.
Oh god, Finn saying bye, Linda. We've reached peak.
Bye, Linda!
Oh, I don't want to wear this anymore.
Why would you?
But Josh knew what he was getting into when I was asked on the show.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
I've almost done this drinking. It's only getting worse.
I wish I could drink.
I've almost finished mine, and I'm kind of sad.
So when I finished my first one, I got up, instantly took a second one. This is the third one.
The
By
White
the
Claw.
way, did you know you can have alcohol delivered to your house?
Mhm.
I actually know that because of in chat. Will Power is because of PAX
I
West.
did not know that, and I had it done today because I didn't feel like going to TJ's.
Nice.
So that
Don't get hit by a car at TJ's.
Exactly.
exactly.
Avoided.
I thought about doing that, and so Will had a White Claw and whiskey delivered at PAX West. But that was like one of my things, like where I thought about that about half an hour before the show because I mentioned I had a very it's been a stressful couple hours, and I thought to myself, shit, what do I have in the fridge? Like what alcohol do I have for this stream? And I had like one Four Peaks peach ale, some beer that I don't know what the hell it is. I'm not going to try it for the first time on a podcast. And then more hard liquor than I can possibly figure out. We have this thing that my mom bought in the 1970s from Peru that I can't read any of it, what's on it, but it tastes like death. That I thought about drinking, but so I just was like, oh, I have bourbon in here. I'm gonna just fill a mug with bourbon.
I have a story.
Let me hear it.
Ooh,
So last year around this time, I went down to LA for my friend's birthday, right?
yes.
And they had this genius idea to let me have like a little shot of this alcohol they had gotten from a developer at a convention that was like from this weird European country. And it was supposed to be like this like rose liquor something. they would know to correct me. They know exactly what I'm talking about in this situation. But it was like potpourri, dried rose petals, and death had like commingled.
That's me. That's my whole shit.
So you're a witchy little fall bitch. I'm into it.
Yes.
I
have to write that down to tweet that out later.
God.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just realizing Justin had a mixer scarf on. It just processed.
Did you
No,
really?
I did.
Oh my
I
God,
did.
tell me.
I just threw it on the floor.
Go get it. Yeah, I would.
Oh, I didn't go far.
Wow, that is so cool. I love it.
John dragged
Sure.
me to
That's
the
actually nice.
mixer event. The
It's
it's actually no, it's a super high quality. Like, it's a nice quality scarf. But John dragged me to the mixer event at what was it, PAX East earlier this year, and Justin didn't get into town till next morning or very late that night. I don't exactly remember.
We appreciate that scarf.
So I picked up extra scarves.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
I'm going
You
to
guys should have
TwitchCon.
seen like the whole Mixer Plaza at E3. It was kind of insane.
Oh yeah.
I didn't get inside because apparently to get a media badge, I needed 20 reviews on iTunes, and we only had 17. So, for media badge.
My friend got into Tokyo Games.
That's okay. No one knows where I live
Got
now.
into TGS with
That one.
a fake business card. That's all. Her roommate made a fake business card, and they got into TGS.
You know, with enough
That's sad.
confidence,
Power to them.
Yeah, no.
enough confidence, you can get it anywhere.
I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully TGS doesn't leak the information of all of its media and like influences or I can't talk because I'm drunk.
But
It was a fake business card though, so they're
Aiden?
leaking the information of fucking
True.
Ronald McDonald.
No, but Aiden, that you're all right on that, Nathan. But Aiden, think about this. Next year, so this year they leak our information, but next year we get Q entertainment.
Entertainment.
Q entertainment.
Entertainment.
So my first,
Insult to injury.
It's a cute-tainment.
it is cute.
And I don't know who the fuck came up with that word.
It's entertainment in the queue.
My absolute favorite thing, my absolute fucking favorite thing about that entire thing was Stephanie Tinsley posting, "Who the fuck of you PR people came up with this name?" Because out yourselves, because it made me so fucking happy when I saw that, because that is the most
It's the
ridiculous.
most ridiculous thing in the world. And like that's a huge issue that we could totally go into and I can like drop some fucking bombs on.
Well, all I know,
Enough people in the room had to go, this is a good idea.
yeah, that's
So it
the
houses
scary
like
thing.
this.
More
They
than
think
zero
it's a good
people.
idea because they don't like games media and the fact that like we're actually being turned.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
Sounds about right.
it's a whole entire thing. All I know is when I read Q Entertainment, I immediately thought, so is this like what Disneyland does? Are you just gonna have like, I don't know, some random person from the ESA dressed up as I don't even
Well,
like some
see,
giant character dancing around
I
shaking
like
their ass?
the idea of them having like a fast pass system.
Sure.
Because like I was at E3 2017, the first year that they ever opened it up to the public, and it was a nightmare.
Mhm.
And I felt
I've heard bad
horrible
things.
for all of the people who were like waiting in line for like 4 to 6 hours to get into a demo, and I was just walking in because I had an appointment. You
Mhm.
know, like that feels really shitty, and like
yeah.
they don't understand like,
Yeah.
like you get to go in. You know, like the fuck. That doesn't make any sense. And then there's areas that were like blocked off to media only and things like that. And that just didn't really feel fair to the people who had paid like $1,000 to be there,
Yeah.
you know? So I'm glad that they're doing something about it. What I'm not happy about is that they're trying to control media in a particular way and in a particular fashion. I think that's really shitty and really gross. And I'm not happy about it.
I need to look it up. Jeff Grubb had an amazing tweet about
Probably shouldn't have said that, but
this. Maybe not, but at the same time, no.
Right.
There's certainly a grossness to the whole thing, because the fact is, like, they straight up said in their little pitch deck thing, they want to control things. I'm trying to find Jeff's tweet he made, but he tweets way too fucking much apparently. Control
same.
me and my
I'm
message
good.
is daddy. That's what he wrote. And it just made me so fucking happy.
So video games.
No, I mean,
so video games. Oh yeah, I said let's get smashed and talk about Gears. We haven't talked about Gears yet.
Oh my
So
god, I can talk to you about Gears.
Don't
The
you
biggest-
know that people that work in the video game media don't actually play video games?
Yeah,
No.
I know. I mean, like, we only
It's-
want
we don't.
very easy mode, so we don't actually have to play them because we suck.
I mean, but that's literally it's the most fascinating thing. Like the whole idea that
Aiden, come back.
died.
Aiden, come back.
Talking
I'm
that tone
here.
of voice, like ever, like always. That's amazing.
What?
Like that tone of voice at all times.
yes. They're just shifting upscale. Will is saying the issue is it doesn't matter what the ESA says because they don't build each publisher's booths, so they can go themselves as far as controlling E3 flow goes. God.
Well, of course they can. You know, it's their event. ESA is a totally different body than anything else. And, you know, I get it to an extent, of course. And I can't really say a lot on this issue because of who I represent.
Yep.
But I have feelings. I'll put it at that.
We're not going to put you on the spot. Don't worry.
Well, no,
I
it's
don't
not
represent-
about you putting me on the spot. It's just because, like, I don't want to fuck things up.
No, well, we're not going to put you on the
Because I
spot
am a loudmouth advocate.
yeah, you're a
I'm not
loudmouth advocate,
representing-
and I mean that as the highest compliment in the world.
I'm not
love-
represented by anybody, so I can say that it's fucking garbage that they aren't like talking about the big, huge fucking snafu of accidentally doxing a ton of people and causing
Over
a bunch of people to spend time, money, effort, stress. And this is all while everybody was at wait, was this
PAX,
while
right?
yeah, this was while people were at PAX.
Just prior
And
to
so-
PAX, just prior to.
Right. But some people were already like
Yes.
en route to there. Yeah. So,
People
like,
were
a
en
lot of
route
people-
to PAX Dev at that point, I believe.
Right, sure. So people were getting off the plane and, you know, reacting to DMs of like, hey, your address is on here. And if you're like a woman or otherwise, you know, not cisgendered male, like in the games
Had I
industry,
gone
like,
into media this year, that literally could have put my entire life and the people that I run from at risk.
yeah,
Like,
it takes one asshole to like completely ruin somebody's life. And again, I'm not represented by anybody, so I can just go off on, but like, I was like, man, now that I'm like starting to get to know certain people in PR and, you know, folks on this call and stuff like that, like it gave me like
no,
heart
it gives you a lot of
palpitations.
insight. Like,
And I wasn't even the person that was experiencing this potential harassment. I was just worried about, you know, this nebulous cloud of people I care about. And so,
well, that's the thing about existing in a space where you're not exposed to people who are not as safe as you.
Yeah.
You know?
My
And, like,
fast.
that's not.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm
Ian,
sorry,
sorry.
go
No, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. I'm just kind of drunk rambling at this point.
No, and
That's fine. I'm just angry rambling.
and I'm intoxicated, nearing drunk
We're having
point.
a great time.
I'm
We're
drunk
talking
point.
about beers, damn it.
Well, I'm at the misreading, the minimalistic second delay in Discord thing. Oh, they stopped. No, they didn't stop talking shit. It's kind of
No, of
bummed.
course we didn't stop talking.
No, but I was
When
just
do
saying.
I ever stop talking?
I've been on 2 shows with you ever at this point, and one of them John talked the majority of the fucking time. So.
Hey, what?
Fair
Makes
enough.
sense.
Sound right
Fair
at all.
enough. Like,
It's up again.
to be fair though,
I need that again, Finn.
John is kind of a great talker. And so am I. I'm a great talker when I'm drunk, I think.
You're and you're a wonderful
Everybody
talker in
thinks that
general.
about themselves.
Great talker.
Yeah. Okay, gears.
So I was gonna say,
What about
so-
gears you want to talk about?
Well,
I want to talk about everything about
let's do
gears.
gears. Yeah, let's
All right.
we could shift topics. Let's
Hold
go
on.
with gears.
Big Shark is sponsored. This is fine. It's Microsoft.
So my thing was
Actually, no, let's not do that.
no, God, no. My favorite thing, absolutely, about this podcast. So the first, again, we talked about this earlier. Aiden was the first person to reach out, and Aiden says to me, "Hey, let's get drunk and talk about Gears." And I'm like, I've never played a Gears of War game ever.
Okay, here's the thing about Gears.
I tried
I've
so hard
only
to get into.
played Gears Ultimate, and I played that with my older sibling, and I've been playing 5 with my partner.
Okay.
Joe. And I just you can tell by looking at me, I'm pink incarnated. I don't really like games of violence.
Yeah.
And so
Which is why I was very surprised when you said you wanted to talk about the game.
Well, yeah, and like I can handle some violence in games. Like, don't
Sure.
get me wrong. The reason why I steer away from it is because like violence is really triggering to me.
Mhm.
And you know, I like to take care of myself. God damn it! Like I can avoid it if I want to. And Okay, maybe I shouldn't put it that way because that doesn't sound healthy.
You are destroying Josh's mind right now.
No. I'm laughing. I'm listening to both what Aiden's saying, and I'm laughing what Finn is saying in the fucking chat, which is, I'm sorry to interrupt, but Gears 4 was not GE4RS, and Gears 5 was not GEAR5.
That was a missed opportunity.
And then Nathan following up with 6EARS.
You talk about letting go the Fast and Furious route?
Okay. Anyway. The thing I appreciate about Gears is that, like, it has options to turn off gore. Because that's the thing that, like, fucks me up the most.
Sure.
Is, like, the goriness. That's why I'm a big giant crybaby when it comes to horror games. Like, I just can't deal with, like, the blood and the guts and the gore and, like, the lanterns and shit. Like,
I'm trying to think when they started that, because I don't remember it in the first few Gears. Judgment,
I don't think it was in the first few Gears.
It definitely gets worse as it goes on, from what I've seen.
It might be the remake.
I know that it is in Gears 5.
I'll put it this way, since the Coalition took it over, I think they started adding that stuff.
Well, and like the other thing is too, is that like I've been thinking a lot about like accessibility and what games mean to a lot of different people, because like, you know, the first time in my life, like I've been approached with like, oh, hey, PTSD is a disability. Like you're technically a disabled person, you know, and thinking about options for other people who are not as able-bodied as I am to enjoy games has been a huge part of my life the last year, which honestly should have been a part of my life for the last like 23, frankly. But, you know, and just seeing like the lack of options that our industry provides for that particular audience is really disappointing and disheartening. And to see a game like Gears 5 have a bunch of options for that, even in terms of like PTSD, you know, and turning off gore and turning off like certain other aspects of the game that make it like mature or violent in other ways, like that's really cool and something I think the developers should really embrace. But it also makes me question if they're only doing this because they see the trends in the community or because of the CVAA.
Well, because I remember some do it, but they actually make it more entertaining if you do. Like Brutal Legends actually comes to mind. You could cut off the language, but they actually started bleeping random stuff just to make the game funnier.
Oh, that's hysterical. I love it. Oh my god.
Play with it.
God
yeah, no, that
bless
makes
that.
sense.
Well, I mean, and like that's the thing too, is that like we're thinking about accessibility, even with like Kojima's very easy mode. I think that's an awesome idea. Because that makes a game like Death Stranding.
For the Stranding genre of gaming, which blows my mind. What the hell is a Stranding game?
I don't think he's gonna create a new genre, but I do think that he's really gonna create a new sort of storytelling. You know, and I think that's important and interesting. And like I have Death Stranding burned on the back of my eyelids at this point because of work.
Work.
Work. Okay, I did not do that in the right tone. That was supposed to be Rihanna.
I know what you're going for.
Work.
That's how I heard it in my brain, so it'll work for people.
Thank you. That's how I heard it in my brain too. That's not how it came out. I'm sorry.
Can you tell
I love
who's
Rihanna.
been drinking, chat?
Still be a part of this show. The wholesomeness is just overwhelming me right now.
I mean, that's my existence. I'm Snow White incarnated as well. I attract cats and they follow me home.
You can make this as wholesome and pink as possible.
Holy shit. I'm sorry, I'm processing just the cat's folly. That's just...
No, I'm serious. They do. There's a cat named Mittens that lives on the road right before mine. And she's my neighbor's cat. She's an outdoor cat. And she walks me halfway home every day. And she's called Mittens because she has extra toes.
Sure.
And
That's
there's
one
another
does.
big boy who looks like a cat who was lost, but is not that cat. And I figured that out because I called the family and I was like, I think I found your cat. And they're like, that's not our cat, but thank you.
That's my favorite
So they
part
took
about
it
it.
anyway.
Fair enough.
Well, I mean, I tried. And then
Go ahead.
there's Jibber and Jabber, who are the cats that I belong to the family that I nanny for. And they're so funny because like they're indoor outdoor cats too, and whenever their family's home they're out, and I only let them out when I'm there because I feel uncomfortable with cats. But because I really don't want them to get hurt on my watch, you know. But anyway, Jibber and Jabber, they're so cute because they literally follow me home and like they come and greet me outdoor whenever they're outside. And then there's Billy and Ernie, the cats that I live with. And then there's like the 10 other cats that I've met around Berkeley. I'm Snow White.
I'm trying to process how we got to gears to cats.
Me?
Cats.
I mean,
There we go.
Wait, I got the answer for you.
I want to hear it, Ben.
Your mic cut out.
I just said
It's not even the mic. We found out it's not the mic.
So it's internet related.
It's the internet. Okay. That's fair.
But hey. Look, don't be down about the fact that it's internet and not mic, because now you know, and now there's nothing you can do to solve the problem because the American internet system is fucked.
By the way, get your little Stadia.
Does not have my best interest at heart, Josh.
You're telling me that Cox? No. I'm drinking too much to make that joke. Cox is the name of our internet service, and I was gonna make a joke about them.
Oh, I had a hospital service named that.
Cox.
And it was always really awkward to tell people that I was born at Cox.
Whenever people ask me what my internet service is, I just say Cox very loudly, and it just makes me happy. And even though I live in a state where literally that is your only option if you want actual high-speed internet, it still embarrasses the shit out of people, and I love every moment of it. We have Cox and this other company that does kind of like a quasi DSL, but it's not good. This is terrible, but it's better than what else is available. Because here's a fun note: Google wanted to bring their fiber stuff to Tempe. They were talking about it for 2 years. And then the Tempe Council decided, hey, we're in the pocket of Cox Communications. So what we're going to do is we're going to require you to drop a massive fucking tax to possibly come to the state. And Google said, well, go fuck yourself. And they walked away.
So you're in that Cox pocket.
We're in the Cox pocket. But on the topic of...
the Cox pocket.
Of leading to cats, I was actually thinking about the fact Aiden mentioned a six-toed cat, and I thought six-fingered man, and I thought apparently some assholes want to fucking remake Princess Bride.
They should.
No!
Did anyone else read that?
It's legal!
Illegal. I was just going to say.
Josh, what's the movie that I will stop whatever I'm doing to straight stare at it?
Princess Bride. I mean, literally.
It is.
I don't know anybody who doesn't love that movie.
I mean,
I sat and watched that at a sushi bar because it was on.
I know, but literally that's the case with Princess Bride. Like, we all have these conversations of, everyone has their own definitions of what makes the perfect movie, what makes the perfect thing. But I think universally most people will put Princess Bride in their top 10 of what can be considered a perfect film. Because even if you don't like it, you can see what makes it so well, the pacing, everything about it.
That's me. I'm not like a crazy huge fan of it, but I do like it's objectively just a pretty damn perfect movie.
It's just good. Its existence is beautiful and wholesome and wonderful.
100%.
That's why Ryan Reynolds will use it for the PG-13 Deadpool.
Oh, fuck.
It's bad.
No, but it's just like I read that earlier, and
sorry, Aiden. I see I broke something.
I don't think I understood what you guys just said.
Okay, so for the PG-13 version of Deadpool, the whole thing is he kidnapped Ben Savage, put him in the set of The Princess Bride, and he's reading the story of Deadpool like it is the Princess Bride.
Yeah, that's like the framing device of the movie is that.
I still need to see Deadpool 2, or the PG-13 Deadpool.
I need to see the PG-13 one.
I own the normal Deadpool 2.
I said Ben Savage. I meant Fred Savage.
Yeah, you meant Fred Savage. Yeah.
Don't besmirch
he kidnapped Savage Garden.
Savage.
Who the hell is Ben Savage?
Ben Savage is Boy Meets World.
Oh, that's right. There we go.
I was literally just listening to Will Friedle on We Have Cool Friends from Kinda Funny, so like I have a lot of that in my head.
Oh.
Which, did I ever tell you guys about the story? Anyone about the story about the time I met Will Friedle in an elevator at MTV Studios?
No.
Those are some nouns I know.
Well, I met Will Friedle in an elevator at MTV Studios. That's literally the whole fucking story. Sorry.
Oscar worthy.
It's an Oscar worthy.
I was going to use that. I was going to use that as an excuse to get up and get another drink, but wow, it ended before I could even get out of the seat.
I should not.
No. I mean, I set in my mind, I'm like,
Perfect diction.
in my mind, I said to my wife, hey, we're starting this podcast a half an hour early. We'll probably go to 6:30, but honestly, we don't have a strong plan. So if we go to like 6 p.m. Pacific, I'll be really happy with the show. And we're well past that at this point, so I'm very happy.
Well, it's only 2 minutes. That's not well past.
That is well past it by my standards.
My computer.
We have a very low bar at Constantly Calibrating, just so you know.
Hey,
okay, fair
this is
enough.
episode
More of it.
298.
That's
of
a lot.
Of a
What are you
season.
doing for 300?
You act like we put effort in most of those.
So, I would usually save this for the end of the show, but episode 299, we're recording a special episode with Khalif Adams of
Yeah.
Spawn on Me on Sunday.
Spoiler alert!
Damn, spoiler.
Good
Yeah, no, we're recording an
coincidence.
episode with him because Khalif
it's a
is,
good spoiler.
he's not available.
Khalif is fucking amazing. Oh
He's
my
fucking.
god.
Oh no, I've been
Dude.
trying to get Khalif on a show for like years, but I only started putting actual effort in like maybe like a month
See?
ago.
Oh my
we don't put
god,
effort in.
shame on you.
Yeah.
Because I have low self-confidence about people wanting to do stuff with me, and then he wouldn't stop hugging me
Look,
at
you
PAX
know what,
West.
honey? A rule to live by, and this goes for like everybody else that's going to hear this eventually. Drunk Aiden advice:
I love
know
it.
your fucking worth.
No, I've learned my fucking worth, and also I have a strict rule of thumb.
Obviously, you have not.
I'm working. Fuck you. I've been doing this for 7.5 goddamn years. I'm working on it.
New podcast. New
Not
podcast.
me, Josh.
We need a drunk Aiden advice podcast.
Finn is
Yes,
trying
can
so
we do
hard
that?
to
Can we
say
make that
something.
happen?
We should make that happen.
The pink podcast.
Hold on. I really want to hear what Finn has to say, and he is being so polite for some
Sorry,
reason.
I'm sorry. I'm not very polite. I'm very crass.
Finn, what do you got?
Why you were adding Aiden with her drunk advice, which is the best advice of all time.
No, it's great advice, and well, that's the funny thing is, Constantly Calibrating started with the idea of I'm really curious if I can get X person on the show. Let me just send the thing out on Twitter, and need my desk, and managed to get every person I randomly tweeted at on the show, and then
How come
discovered
you never randomly tweeted at me? Fuck.
Well, I mean, didn't we?
No.
no,
I
actually,
came to you.
I mean, you
That
did.
just shows how awesome we are.
Because, in all honesty, I also have a problem. Once people become friends with me, no, this is seriously, this is like a real problem I have. Once people become friends with me, I have a real trouble reaching out to them for literally anything. I've wanted Finn on the show since I've met in person at East, but literally did not actually fucking reach out until literally PAX West, actually, in person.
That was when you first told me, you're like, hey, I'd like you to be on the show. I'm like, said show.
Here's the issue. Who's an introvert? Raise your hand.
Aiden froze.
Aiden did
no.
in fact freeze. You're right.
Aiden has
But what a
That's a
freeze. Holy
wonderful
crap.
way.
Look at that.
It's actually a quality, like, really, really wholesome. Listen, this is how wholesome Aiden fucking Strawhun is. Aiden freezes in the most, like, wholesome ass fucking pose. Like, quality. Let's see.
Like, this is the thing. Like, I can realize this with
sorry,
everybody.
I'm screwing up the chat. Just my computer died. I tried.
No.
No.
We'll get Aiden back in a second.
But yeah, here's the problem with like everybody that we work with. I've noticed is kind of like we're all the type of people that we want to work with people, but we're horrible about reaching out to them sometimes, or at least some people are. Especially like, go ahead.
Okay, this is an interesting thing about me because I am a super introvert, and if I can not talk, like I have the job that I have right now because it like lets me not talk to anybody for the entire day. I don't have to be on the phones. I don't have to talk to customers. I just type numbers all day, and that's my ideal job. But for some reason, I have the ability.
Frozen.
Everyone's
You're
frozen.
back.
You're frozen. Now you're back. Are you there? Are we unfrozen for you?
I see her.
No,
She's
clearly not.
looking at us.
I see him.
Hello. I think I'm back now.
Yay!
We were talking about the fact that you froze in the most wholesome ass fucking pose
Yeah, it
because
was
of
like
course you
this.
did.
Um,
You were just like, and And we lost.
They're dropping people like flies. Oh, there they are. Okay. Oh,
I saved
my computer
the moment
died.
for you.
what was I even
Don't
saying?
worry.
Oh, just that, like, for some reason, I have the ability to just, like, DM somebody about, like, doing something or approach somebody at a bar about, like, hey, this is me. You should be, like, you should let me open up for your band or whatever. For some reason, I have no, like...
Wow, you sound like a journalist.
I guess so. Like, no, but, like, for my podcast, the New Entertainment System podcast, like,
Nice
Cam
plug.
and I reached out. We just had an episode with Collie Fathoms go up this week. Next week is Aiden's episode.
Brag about it.
But we
Frogs, that's all you need to know.
we reached out to like 10 people. Some people, like, I was like, oh yes, they have DMs open. Like, not to put Aiden on blast, but I don't think Aiden follows me. Like, I don't like not everybody that I reached out to follows me, but I was like, hey, you should be on my podcast. And it
I'm
was just
so
like,
sorry I've been sleeping on you, man.
no worries. It's
I mean,
if
haven't
you
we all
want to,
been
you
there?
can. But anyway,
I'm gonna
like,
figure this out, okay?
I'm gonna figure this out. Drunk Aiden's on the case. But no,
I can't fucking type!
thankfully everybody that we reached out to wanted to be a part of it. And so, like, I mean, we're some of us are drunk and we're just kind of like memeing around right now, but like the know your worth thing is huge. Like, Cam and I have learned that, like, you know, have confidence in what you're making, and like people will want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of this show like every fucking week that's available to be a thing for me. Like, you guys put a good show on here. Everybody that you have on here is part of something really cool, and like, I don't know, man, it's good shit.
It is good shit, I agree.
Nathan,
It's all good shit.
Nathan, I've been drinking. Please don't compliment me. I will cry.
Also, Nathan, I have a funny for you.
Funny.
Please go.
Like a joke, or is funny
No,
slang for
a
something?
dumb drunk Aidenism. So I just, I tried to find you on Twitter, and instead of putting two-headed giant, which is your actual handle, I put two-faced giant.
That's a very different.
I'm looking at his face right now.
I was close-ish. Face, head, close enough.
Well,
You had two of the words.
in our Discord chat, when you said my computer died, it said mein Computer died. It was definitely German shit.
You did not have to go that hard.
I did. I'm sorry. I made my lights pink just for your own benefit. I'll change it to
you.
something else. I'll
This
change
whole
it to
stream
something
should be
else.
wholesome and pink.
Yes.
Oh.
Anyway, I had a thought about
Have right now.
there, and we can even bring it back to video games.
Oh yes, video games.
Oh, what are video games?
So there's this
Oh.
discussion. There's this discussion about Borderlands, and some people are happy with that. It's basically stayed the same as it was in Borderlands 1 and 2. But other
For
people are
everybody-
like,
Oh, sorry. Go on. We'll keep going.
there's another maybe equal contingency of people that are like, I've played this game. That nothing. It hasn't moved along. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, we went from, I don't know if this is perfectly correct time-wise, but we went from like God of War Ascension to God of War 2018 in the time that it took for, Borderlands 2 to Borderlands 3. And you look at a series like God of War looking at itself and reinventing itself, and then Borderlands saying, we're just going to do the same thing again. And I can see the merits of both sides. But you also look at a series like Gears, which has, in a lot of ways, I don't know. I don't know if saying reinventing Gears would be accurate for 5, but at least for the campaign,
It's definitely improved on its formula.
yeah, having a female lead and having some open world stuff and trying to
And,
experiment. and
other
stuff.
colors of character is pretty fucking.
Right.
Other colors of character.
That's accurate.
Other characters of color.
Colors of character.
Excuse me. I did not mean that. Wow, that is like the worst thing I could have possibly ever said. I am actually extremely sorry. I'm not even
You're
going to laugh at that.
You're drinking. It's okay.
I'm drinky.
But no, so I want to know what other people think about this, because this has been like in my Twitter drafts for a while of just like, I'm sure it's a case by case basis, but in general, like, is it? I don't know. Like, is it cool that? Go ahead.
So here's my devil's advocate.
Sure.
I think that's the right term.
Well, you're good.
We'll see.
Anyway,
Time will tell.
I think that sometimes more of the same is good in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
And like in the case of Borderlands, I'm not really an expert in that because I've never played Borderlands. It's never interested me. I've never liked the humor, never liked the art style, not my jam. And like from what I've heard about Borderlands 3, like it's just gross. And
Yeah.
I'm not into that.
Mhm.
So I don't know in the case of Borderlands 3 if it's really like more of the same is a great thing. But like in the case of like Fable or like Elder Scrolls or like Project Diva or things like that, where it has a specific formula, where it has like a certain trend in which it creates gameplay and all of these things. Wow, I can't even believe that I'm like, talking so coherently right now.
Snaps for drunk
Snap
Aiden.
said that. But like in the case of those particular games, I think that they're just franchises that are known for that particular style, and continuing that style and continuing the mold is not a bad thing.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
like in the case of Project Diva, like they definitely changed things up with Project Diva X. You guys probably have no idea what I'm talking about.
I know.
I
But
do.
yeah.
I know.
Oh my god, I'm so impressed!
I've worked at a GameStop before. I had to sell
Nobody
some,
knows about
some
my wife.
Vita
Okay, I have my
games.
wife tattooed on my arm. Damn it.
It's been known.
Anyway, but like I've been playing the series since the first game, right? And the first 3 games were not released in America. They're all Japan exclusives. So I imported them all, and I have all 6 of them imported. At least the portable games, not the arcade. You can't import that one.
You
On me,
can.
right? Well, you can, but technically that would just it would just be even more expensive, and I don't have that kind of money. Like I have money to drop like enough on a PlayStation Vita game and a PSP game, but not an entire arcade cabinet.
Right.
Anyway, they really changed the formula with Project Diva X, which is the most recent one, if you don't count arcade. And the way they changed it up was that they made it more like a visual novel rather than just a rhythm game. Yeah, it's really
That's
interesting. It's definitely a game that like is not import friendly like the other ones were. The other ones were import friendly in the sense that like you could get through the game through the icons and things like that. It's very visually easy to navigate.
Mhm.
Project Diva X is not. So that was one that I was actually happy to have in English. But it was essentially more of the same gameplay, but just a different formula. And I didn't like X as much because it had deviated from what I was so used to and had loved for so long.
Right. I guess for me, I'm thinking more of the like the humor and the writing in Borderlands.
Yes.
More so than the gameplay. Now that I'm like trying to actually like develop my thoughts more than a draft in my tweet. Like there's a lot of people that are just like this here. I'm not 15 anymore, or I'm not freshman in high school anymore, or whatever.
Oh, that's exactly it. Like you kind of wonder why Adam Sandler films aren't funny anymore.
Yeah,
That's kind of like what Borderlands 2 is, or Borderlands is continuing doing. By the way, if anybody wants my full thoughts on this, tomorrow at 8:00 on mixer.com/ConCal
Eastern.
or to catch all at any Eastern
What
at
a
any
plug.
podcast services. Could have talked about it more, but I'm drunk, so I'm probably going to say it all here. Anyways, yeah, that's the thing. Like the humor didn't age whatsoever, but I do got to admit they got a little more PC, a little bit. As far as little people are no longer called, we'll say the M word, but they're called tinks. If that's,
Okay. To
I
be
don't know
fair,
if that's better.
I don't think that's PC. I think that's just respect.
Yeah.
You know? Like
Well,
I've got a bit of a problem with PC. Like, and not in the sense of like PC's existence. I've got a problem with people calling things PC when it comes down to respect.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's them aging a bit, so they got a little more control. Like they reeled themselves in a little bit with that, but still, like the humor is still the same spirit as based on the same memes of the year as Borderlands 2 came out, and it did not age well. But as far as like for someone like me, I think that's what this game is made for. I haven't got heavy into Borderlands since Borderlands 2. I didn't play the pre-sequel much at all, and I played a little bit of Tales of the Borderlands. And for this returning from me, it's just comforting. Like I like Heavenly Borderlands 2. The gameplay loop is great, but the humor is not. But at the same time, for anybody who's huge super fans into Borderlands, they have so many cameos from other series. Like they include everything from pre-sequel to Tales of the Borderlands. If you are a super fan, it pays off. But yeah, again, like my sense of humor has changed since Borderlands 2. It was so long ago. That's 360.
I would hope so, right?
I was still at GameStop.
God,
And,
it's weird that like 360 feels so long ago.
Yeah.
I know.
Wow.
So yeah, it's weird. The more humor of Borderlands for me, Borderlands 3 is the guns and the properties of the guns are freaking hilarious. But the writing and how the characters are, not so much.
Right. Yeah. Like the game part of it is, like the best version of it that it can be at this point in time, right? Like they did a really good job mechanics wise, just making all the different guns cool and like a bunch of different things you can do. It's complex and stuff like that, but just like sort of the like the narrative soul of it is still like trapped in like lolcat memes, and it's like
it is.
and it's the same sort of thing I feel with Death Stranding, where
a Stranding game, by the way, genre.
Right.
Yeah,
the
it's not a game, it's a genre.
I'm sort of like, not even sort of like, I'm like way over Kojima's shit. Like to put
I'm
it like
actually into it.
so.
Thank you.
I've been into his shit for so long that at this point, it's and that's totally
See, I've
fine.
never been into his shit, and now I'm like into it.
Yeah,
Still in the Metal Gear. Oh my god.
No, I am too.
Still
Literally,
confused
right
where
over
I'm
here,
at on it.
right over here. I have
That is Tim Schafer in Double Fine. My bad. I meant something else.
I have 3
You're drunk, it's
Nendroids
okay.
of Snake, and I have like I have every art book from Metal Gear.
Thank you.
Special editions with the hand that comes with it and stuff like that. I love 5 or V, but I'm just sort of over like the I don't know. There are 3 non-dudes in his game. One of them's name is Fragile, the other one's name is Mama, and the other one is Kidnapped.
See, here's the thing that I noticed about the names of like the female presenting characters is that like, and like even in Metal Gear, is that like what Kojima thinks that like women
Here's
should
the
be?
thing about Kojima. Every single
Fragile,
one of Kojima,
Kidnapped, Mama.
every single one of Kojima's games is a remake of his games. Like every single Metal Gear is a remake of the first Metal Gear.
And that's why I'm like a little bit over it. Like I will still play Death Stranding, but this is my game where like
You mean where they advertise Norman Reedus AMC shows while he's taking a crap?
Norman Reedus and the Funky Fetus. If this game pulls more problematic shit like it did with Metal Gear Solid 5 with like a shitty fucking attempted sexual assault scene and stuff like that, it's bad. It's bad. Like if I'm giving him one more chance of like, can you prove to me that you don't hate women, please?
I'm begging you.
And if he can't do that, then I'm gonna have to.
I mean, he's definitely not the only developer that doesn't know how to write female characters whatsoever.
For sure.
Looking at you.
Anybody?
His name from Kingdom Hearts.
Tetsuya Nomura.
Thank you.
Yeah, no. And that's one of the reasons why I dropped that game too. The characters fucking suck now. Fucking
Oh my god,
whatever.
Kingdom Hearts 3 was so disappointing in that respect. Like, it's a fun game and it's beautiful visually and the combat is great, but like, oh my god, learn how to write a fucking woman.
All I know about Kingdom Hearts 3, and I said this, I did a spoiler cast with John, and I'm forgetting who else back at the beginning of the year, but my feelings on Kingdom Hearts 3 was simply, I loved the game, I hated the game. And that's pretty much how I feel because
that's how I feel about it too.
Because I enjoyed it, it's Kingdom Hearts. Also, what the fuck are you doing with Kairi? God damn it.
No, I gotta say, the soundtrack is fantastic.
Characterization? What is that? Does that exist?
I don't know what they're doing with Kairi.
They really don't. But the problem is, Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance 3DS game made it seem like they knew what they were doing with Kairi. Finally made it seem like they had an idea. And then 3 was just like, nah, JK, lol.
I just feel like with Square Enix's development process in the last like 10 years is that like they've had really ambitious ideas, right? With like 15 and with Kingdom Hearts 3 and like teasing them over the years, which 15 wasn't even 15 when it was announced. It was versus 13, and Lightning was supposed to be in it. God damn it!
There was a whole chapter where we were walking down a hallway that it reverted later because games could patch that.
Because games. Games. Anyway, I just feel like they've had these really ambitious ideas, and then they get to a point where they need to deliver, and they can't deliver. And it's
Like-
not necessarily their fault. Like there's people that they have to treat appropriately and pay fairly, and that's more important, I think. But at the same time, like maybe dial back some of your ideas and split them up.
Yeah.
Instead of putting these giant holes in these stories and in these narratives that you promised are going to be so expansive and wonderful and amazing.
Yep.
The only
That's the
reason
problem I
that-
had with 15.
Yeah, the only reason I'm like confident that Final Fantasy VII remakes, like it will actually have decent female characters is because they were already in the Gaiden way.
I mean,
You're giving them a lot of credit.
oh no, did I poof away?
No, you're still here.
Okay.
I mean, just you had said something like really like profound and like bam, and then you like kind of drifted off camera.
Oh, that was drunken Aiden. Anyway, I probably actually do need to go soon.
Yeah. I was letting that whole conversation go, and I was gonna start tying stuff up.
I appreciate you doing that. Thank you for letting me
At least
We did drink, and we did
Kinda.
talk briefly about Gears 5.
we did briefly.
It came up in
Truth in
conversation
advertising.
and advertising and other things. Honestly, this was more topics that have ever been featured on a Constantly Calibrating show that have that the doc literally featured. Hold on, where is it? Featured the
Can I pause
words.
the game real quick.
Oh yeah, you had a doc. I forgot about that.
My co-host, everybody. Go ahead, Matt.
Can I plug a game real quick? Everyone should play River City Girls.
Damn right.
Yes.
Joyful and just pure cheer, and just listen to the intro song on loop, and a smile will form on your face at all times.
Way
Yes.
forward.
It's on my list right now. It's on my very short list of things that I need
Good.
to make sure I pick up before the end of the year. I need that like money thing first, but
That's true. Maybe focus on feeding your family first, video games second.
yeah, is that how it works? Shit. All right. God, I've been doing that backwards.
Everybody, Patreon ConCal whenever we make it.
I think it's
Again.
constantly calibrating on Patreon currently. But here's a fun
And that's
note.
why
I
no
actually,
one can find it because we can't spell it.
well, here's the fun thing. I actually disabled the constantly calibrating Patreon a while back because we weren't doing enough to justify it. And then somewhere where Patreon, when they did their whole shift to a different pricing model, they reactivated the account and made it undeactivatable. So it is actually out there.
Oh.
I just am not. I haven't updated it yet. So technically, you could
I
donate.
didn't donate, cowards.
I just don't know if I would.
so curious what our donation goals were.
The donation
Guess
goal.
you'll find out.
I think the first one was for me to play the stream playing all the Legend of Zelda games. It was
Yeah,
not a
there's
good
There's
goal.
a new one Friday.
Yeah, I know. I have it pre-ordered. Actually, no, I don't have it pre-ordered. I use the Nintendo voucher, so I own it. So,
Nice.
Oh.
Should we do our wrap up?
yeah, but
plugs?
I was just gonna mention. So, like, the plan for this doc, literally, what's on this doc is essentially says, "Who the fuck are these people? Whose idea was this? Did I mention alcohol? Wow, this is
Yes.
supposed to be a way different show tonight. Welcome? ? And I think we
Welcome.
accomplished all of that.
Yes, we did. We did.
We done it.
Cheers.
And I'm very happy about the show. And thank you, Aiden, for hopping into my mentions first because you're responsible for this, and I mean that as a compliment of the highest quality.
Thank you.
So first off, before I get to the proper outro, let's go around the table. Plug your shit. Aiden, let's
Hey,
start with
I'm
you.
Justin for Constantly Calibrating. Join the Catch All podcast tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern at mixer.com/ConCalPod.
Bitch, you want to fight?
Fight.
Always.
Fight.
All right, I'll go next.
This is the most Justin's talked on a show in a while, by the way.
Wow, I'm impressed. So I'm glad I can bring it out of you at least. Even if that means you're interrupting me.
It's all Aiden.
Oh.
Ooh, Aiden, talk your stuff. Where can people find you?
Yes, Hi, I'm Aiden. As we mentioned earlier, I'm a journalist and an advocate. I'm the executive director of Women in Games International. You can reach me on Twitter through my DMs, or basically on Twitter through my DMs. All of my contact information is there. I have a Signal. I have an email as well. So if you need me for journalism or for advocacy, let me know. And my Twitter is at astraw, which is ASTRAWW.
Did you say you have a Signal?
Yes, Signal as in like Signal the app.
Yep.
It's a more confidential way to reach people.
Oh, that's how out of touch I am. Okay, go ahead.
I think they got everything. Wonderful. Finn, let's go on to you next.
I'm Finn from the NOLA Nerdcast / SDGC. You can catch us every Thursday. Created Saki, which is the world's greatest podcast mascot.
It is.
It's the best PAX reward as well.
Is hashtag Saki Bless.
Mhm.
I'm on Twitter at NOLA Nerdcast. Feel free to follow me because I like good people. Had a great time being on here. Thank you for distracting me from the hellfire abyss that is September 2019 in my personal life.
Well, I just, for what it's worth, love you very much, man. Legitimately. So, anything I can do to help you take your mind off whatever, I am always here for that in every way conceivable, short of air travel. But other than that, I'm here.
1000% ditto.
Yep. So absolutely, I'm glad to have you on the show. And yeah, Nathan, you.
Oh, yes, I'm Nathan, aka Two-Headed Giant on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. I have a podcast called the New Entertainment System Podcast, where a robot makes me video games from a random generated list. This Monday, we had Khalif Adams from Spawn on Me. Next Monday, we have someone called Aiden. I don't remember. We talk about. I can spoil it and say, oh, Cam actually put it in the chat if you want to click on that if you aren't already following us. But as a spoiler, we talk about a Frogger game that's irresponsibly horny on Aiden's episode. So we got some horny anime frogs. The second appearance of the "It's irresponsibly horny" tag. So we were very blessed to have a show, and yeah, I think that's it. Twitter, Twitch, and the podcast. So I will see you there. Hopefully we'll have everybody on this podcast and every podcast in the world on there somewhere, but we're trying to keep it 75% not white males, if we can help.
Damn. Yeah, like,
And I only show up
80% of the gaming industry is white males, so
We're
Breaking the mold. We appreciate that.
Hey,
So
can we?
far, that's what the schedule. That's what we have scheduled is 75% not straight white males.
listen, I am a white male with a beard, glasses, brown hair. I'm pretty sure you never had anybody like me on that cast before.
Absolutely.
No, not
My
until
hand
Ian
hurts.
Michelle's episode.
Feel free
Finn.
to. I have some recommendations for you. Then, if you'd like some awesome non-straight white male people to be on your show, because
100% DM. We have a big list of people that we're going to get in contact with. But as I said, we have, not unfortunately, everybody that we've reached out to has said yes. So we're like booked up through mid-October right now.
Trust me,
which is-
Nathan reached out to me a while back, and then suddenly, oh no, I gotta wait till October, through November.
Sorry.
I guess I'm just not an Aiden Strawhun or a Khalif Adams. Whoa.
I would love to throw more people at you because they deserve all the recognition and exposure. So
Yeah, we're not trying to make it like a big deal. Like, look at us, we're doing it. But it's a goal of both Cam and I.
Oh, they have.
We want to.
everywhere, we don't need another
Sure.
podcast. It's fine.
That's fair. Fair criticism.
Yeah, that's
I think
my
that-
long list of plugs.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate all the information for anyone who does not know. So it's good to have. So for us, thank you all for joining us this week. The Constantly Calibrating Podcast is live every Tuesday. One thing I can only read out of one eye right now. The Constantly Calibrating Podcast is live every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. most nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on Mixer.com/ConCalPod. We're on
Talk
Facebook.
about a catch-all!
The Catch All Podcast is live every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, every Wednesday on mixer.com/ConCalPod. It also goes
Except
up.
when we don't want to.
Jesus fucking Christ, Justin, let me do the outro. We got places to be. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/Constantly Calibrating, Twitter at ConCalPod. I'm at Bear Punch. Justin's at Justin_glorious. Check
Sometimes.
Jesus Christ, Justin.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, guys.
That gave me my third hangover of my life at PAX West. A White Claw, a single White Claw. Check Instagram at instagram.com/Constantly Calibrating. Come chat with us at Discord, on Discord at constantlycalibrating.com/Discord. Please make sure to leave us a review wherever you are able to. It sincerely does really help us get the podcast in front of more listeners. We were talking about E3, not that I'm sure if I want to go there, but it could, that other events perhaps could help. Yeah,
I know where you live.
You guys have a new podcast too.
We do have a new podcast going up every Saturday, the S Rank Support Podcast, which is our Fire Emblem show, talking about Fire Emblem 3 Houses. We have the first 3 episodes recorded. We have plans for the next 4 episodes, and I've actually been getting DMs all weekend from people who want to be guests on the show. Forgot to tell you about that, Justin.
Yeah.
I may or may not record the intros in an Alan Rickman voice.
I do have possibly that. But with
All right,
that,
y'all, I gotta go.
you got to go in. So, and with that, we bid you a good sign off.